Hello friends, welcome to part 2 of the video on how to find your dream job in 30 days. Oh, wait a minute, did you see my part 1? If not, I'll tell you that you should go and see the part 1 first and then you should watch this video because this is in continuation to that. So let's start the part 2 today on some topics which are required to understand when you're finding your dream job. So we'll be talking about networking, we'll be talking about finding your job, how to do your interviews, and how to get your negotiations in your compensation round when you have it with your HR. So I am Prachi Jain and I'm an HR professional in Canada and I'm here to help you in finding your job. So stay tuned. Do you know half of all companies pay their own staff to look for new people to hire? This means that there is a 50% chance that when you're talking to anyone who does the work you do and that they get paid a bonus to get you hired in their own company. So you are a gift. So now let's talk about how you can leverage this. We will talk about using your network fruitfully. So there are various ways in which you can find jobs and touch upon interviews and also get a good negotiated offer. My motto here is simple, to get you the right job at the right salary. Now let's talk about something on networking. Using your network begins with contacting friends and family. Now asking friends and family for a job search help is a great way to hear about the job opportunities and make some connections with the hiring companies. Now what you can do here, let's talk about some tips and tricks. Your friends and family care about you for sure, and most of them will gladly help you in any way they can. But some ways of reaching out to your friends and family lead you to better results. Now what are the tips here, or what simple ways you can use so that your friends and family will easily refer you? So be specific is one of my suggestions. So it's easier for people to help you if you tell them that exactly what you're looking for, what profile you're looking for, what job search you're doing. And always keep your request short. So your letter should not be, or your email or your conversation with them shouldn't be too detailed or too long, because everyone's busy and a brief note is likely that will reach more to your friends and family when you use it. Try to use some bullet points versus writing long text if you're putting up an email. Another great thing you can do is attaching your resume. Now, consider attaching your resume to the email or to the conversation or sending it after your conversation with your friends so that they have it handy whenever they're referring you in their company. And this prevents any delay. And there's also one more way, is sending some personalized letters, emails or communication. These all things will help you increase your chances of getting a job, and always be patient because at times job search does take a couple of minutes, couple of months, couple of weeks. So stay patient and wait for them to let you know, or you follow up after some particular time. So if you can reach the right person, you'll have an opportunity to pitch your skills and start the process of being considered for a job. And the next method which I'm going to talk about is cold calling. Do a cold calling campaign. Now what is that? And I know cold calling is not easy. It's nerve-wracking. People get scared to do cold calling. It's difficult to talk to a stranger when you're doing a cold calling. So let's talk about some tips and tricks how you can go and talk and do a cold calling with any employer and have that comfortableness, have that casualness when you talk to them, so that you know what you're talking and you can take a reference point from there when you're applying for a job. So some ways could be sending a resume and cover letter ahead of time. So this is possible when you're scheduling your call, or you know the email address of the person you're talking to. Just send them your resume in advance. This helps in building a reference when they're talking to you. Another way is connect with the department managers rather than the HR. Why I say that is because the key decision maker in any hiring is the manager who's hiring. And some ways can be adopting, or you can meet them in LinkedIn or try to have a coffee chat with them in a casual environment so that you have a better chance of being considered. offer to schedule a talk with them. Do like an informational interview. So what is an informational interview? Is basically you go and ask them about the company, the culture, some related questions, not directly about the job. That could be one way of doing cold calling. Another way is reach out to your LinkedIn contacts. Now, if I have somebody in a company I'm applying to and I see them on LinkedIn in my account, I would go and ask them for a reference and then connect through there. So that helps you in starting a talk with your hiring manager. Another piece of advice in building your network is joining a professional organization or association. Now, what is a professional organization? It's basically an organization of people who share similar interests, similar professions, and they are on similar credentials as you are. So having your connections built up in professional organizations really helps you in getting your job, because they can really refer you or help you in knowing more about the profession you're going into in a new country, especially when you're coming to Canada. So how you can find out which organization is good, because there are a lot of professional associations in the market. What you can do is, when you're talking to someone like an industry expert, your mentor, you're connecting to someone on LinkedIn who's your friend, who's working in a company, who's of a similar profession to you, ask them this question. Ask them that which professional association is good to partner with, where you can build your connections and leverage that. This is a great way of networking and a great way of finding a job. Another great way of finding a job is attending a job fair. While some people find job fairs to be very stressful, overwhelming for them, they're in fact an excellent way to boost your job search. Now, how and what are these job fairs? So there are a variety of job fairs that happen. Many are multi-employer, many are in-person, typically held at a convenient location like a hotel, a conference center, etc. And they are also online nowadays after COVID. So what you can do, how you can leverage from these job fairs, there are tips and tricks to that as well. So for the job fair to be successful, for you to have a conversion from there, some tips could be dress professionally. Always carry yourself well when you go to these job fairs, even if it's virtual, even if it's in person, whatever is the case, carry yourself very well. Always carry your resume is one more advice, because you never know how it turns out. If you meet someone and he's really interested then and there, you can just pass on your resume. Also prepare for your elevator pitch. Now, if you're not sure how to prepare your elevator pitch, see my other videos where I've spoken about elevator pitches. They are short 30-second pitches which are very, very efficiently when made, can be really converting for you. And interview questions and answers should also be in the back of your mind. So you should know your interview questions, prepare your answers, be ready for anything that can come up during these job fairs. And also keep your energy very, very high. Always keep a smile on your face. Say thank you to someone when you're meeting at the job fair, because if they don't have something right now, but they will surely keep you in mind when they go back and they see something relevant in their organization. So searching the right job sites is really important. Now, when used correctly, job search engines and job boards can save you a lot of time. So rather than taking the time, you have to go to newspapers or you want a company websites or any other traditional job posting, a job search engine can do it all for you. It's a click of a button and you get your jobs online. But do you know there are two different types of job sites? One is called as a job board and the second is called as a job search engine. Now, what's the difference in these two? Traditional job boards like Monster, Career Builder are sites where employers typically pay a fee. They pay a fee in exchange for the listing of the job that they want to put it on the website. Now, the benefit of job boards is that the postings are typically up to date because the employer controls them, because he's paying a fee, and they are more current and updated, and you will see that those jobs are actually live to apply. But when you come to job search engines, it compiles a lot of job listings from various job boards and company career pages and associations and many other resources, and then it uses that to put the jobs on their website. Now, these could be outdated. Some of the postings would have already been filled up, so it's not necessary that what you see is actually live. So you will see like 1,000 positions open, but actually there might be only 900. So that's not a huge difference, but there is some difference when you're seeing it on a job site. Networking sites also could be used for finding jobs. Now, which are those? Like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter are also very good places to search your job. So, you should be careful where you're searching your job and make some favorite websites, favorite job boards. Everyone has their own preference based on the filters, the viewability, etc. And keep those in handy when you're searching a job. As you're searching jobs, one more piece of advice is you should also learn how to avoid job scams. Now, your data, your email address is so public after you're applying jobs that you get many jobs on emails. Now, listen to your intuition. So, if your offer is coming on an email without you even giving an interview, or a company indicated that has no website presence, or the LinkedIn employees are not found for that company that's offering you. If the offerer is a third party indicating that the job is with a very reputed organization. So be cautious in these kind of situations. And don't share your documents, especially your social insurance numbers, your private information, unless you actually feel that the person giving you the job is legitimate. Now let's talk about staying organized. It's very important that when you're searching a job in such a short span in 30 days, you stay yourself organized. Now it's not uncommon to submit applications for many positions. That involves a lot of time and it's also a lot of tracking that needs to be done. So what you can do is create your job application spreadsheet like an Excel or a Word table. Set up job alerts so that you know when an organization you want to work with is when they're opening the jobs and you get an automatic email by this job alerts. Or use your favorite job search site. So just shortlist your job search site which you really like, you feel it's actually updated. Take that job search site and create your own alerts. Also, you could use a notebook, a traditional way of recording things, so you can list down which companies you've applied for, and this will help you keeping your track. And there's also one more way, is simplifying your search. What you should do is focus on quality than just quantity. When I say that, people just say, oh, I'm applying 100 jobs a day, 150 jobs a day. That doesn't help. Focus on the quality of your application. Ensure your resume, your cover letter is correct, updated, customized to the requirement of the job that you're applying for. This will help you get a better turnaround. So let's get ready with the next part about interviews and follow-up. So now what we do when you're going for interviews and what you should take care is the next section of my video now. So a very important piece of information when you're going for interviews is refresh your wardrobe. What you can do to refresh your wardrobe? Simply familiarize yourself with the company dress code. You'll find fewer companies embracing business suits these days. So what you can do is you may need to pull together some respectable business casual attires to make a good impression. A good first impression is really important. Make sure your clothing is very clean and it's free from wrinkles. Because you're traveling maybe to an interview location, ensure that your dress is actually neat and clean when you reach the destination. Another thing you should keep in mind for your interviews is doing your research. Your research is a great way of telling a good story. An interview is all about telling a great story. So, how will you provide value to an organization is the most important thing an organization looks for in a candidate. So, solve its problems. See what you can see online. What is their problem? What they are facing right now in the market. Read their reports like annual reports. See what are the key statements published by their maybe CEOs, MDs, etc. And use your skills and experience to answer those in your storytelling when you're making even your elevator pitch or your storytelling during your interview process. And write that story and get ready to tell it to hiring managers, prospective colleagues, anyone you meet in a networking event, job fair, etc. so that you know that what the company is looking for and you have a better chance of being shortlisted for an interview. Another advice I give my mentees is practicing your interview questions before you go for an interview. It's very important that you know your answers in such a free-flowing way that it comes out to you naturally but actually reaches the mark what the employer is looking for an answer for. So practice yourself in front of a mirror. Look at sample questions that are asked in the interview. These are easily available on various websites like Glassdoor or many other public posting websites where people put in the questions they were asked for an interview. Take those questions, practice yourself in front of a mirror, and that way you can have it free flowing when you're meeting someone in any networking event or a job interview. And one more thing is very, very important. You should also have some questions for the employer. Because in the end, generally, employers end the interview saying, "Do you have any questions for me?" At that time, asking really smart, to the point, specific questions really makes a mark. It's not the end, but it could be a real start for a next job interview or even cracking that interview which you're attending. Now comes the point when your interviews are done or your meeting is done with someone, always follow up with a sweet little thank you, like a message, like an email, like a call, so that it's a very pleasant gesture and even the person appreciates your time with them. Now, sometimes it takes a while for your interview decision. So be patient. Follow up with the recruiter a few weeks later. Or if you know the hiring manager personally, maybe you got the interview call because of a networking through LinkedIn, then just sweetly message him on LinkedIn saying, "Hi, it was nice to meet you on this date, but I was hoping to hear back on the decision as a feedback." So that it doesn't look like you're actually, pestering them for an interview decision, but actually you're looking and keen to know what has been the feedback from the interview that you attended. Last is about accepting or rejecting your offer. Now it's very important that you get the job that you value for. Like I started my video with a motto saying helping you get your right job at the right compensation, here I would like to guide you how you can evaluate your offer. Now, after the interview ends, typically the HR comes back to you asking you, or even in the starting of the first round, they ask you what are your salary expectations. So here I play safe for myself and I suggest the same to you as well, that you always give your salary as a broad range. Don't give it like, a short range saying 50 to 55,000 or 70 to 75,000. That's a very small range. Try to give it like a very broad range. Say, for example, if somebody asked me a salary range, I would say 50 to 70,000. It's a broad range so that I have that negotiation room when the recruiter sees, because they also have a bandwidth which they can offer you in. If you say very high bandwidth, you might not get an interview call. Or if you say a very low bandwidth, you stay underpaid. So in order to avoid both these situations, try to give a broad salary range so that you have that negotiation room. Now, it's important to understand that we cannot dream to have everything at the first interview itself. So if you are moving to a country and you're fresher and sometimes you're expecting too high salary, but the recruiter is honest with you and saying okay, this is what we're offering you. See what's the offer. See the minimum wage of the province you're applying for. See if you can run your expenses in that much, and I would suggest you take the offer. Because in the industry, as you go with your experience, your negotiation room enhances, people value your experience better, and that time you can demand higher salary. So here I come and end to my video today. Hope you like my video and hope you can get your job in 30 days by trying these methods. I wish you all the best in your job search. Stay tuned to my channel for more such videos on job search, immigration, student visas, and many more topics that we want to cover. Every week we come on with videos for you. So let us know if you have any specific topics in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to make some videos on that. So stay tuned. Visa Vlogs is your channel and happy to help you in whatever way I can. Take care. Have a blessed weekend ahead.